He picks up a bus and he throws it back down as he wades through the buildings towards the center of town. Film at 11. Greetings, I am E. Adam Thomas, and welcome to another episode of Film Rants. Tonight's feature is the oft-imitated, rarely equaled, and unfairly maligned Japanese kaiju aiga Ishiro Honda's Gojira. At some point I will discuss the American version, Godzilla King of the Monsters, with additional footage featuring Raymond Burr, but tonight it's all about the original, definitive Japanese cut of the film. In short, it's about a gigantic prehistoric reptile mutated and irradiated by H-bomb testing in the South Pacific. When the creature makes its presence known, renowned paleontologist Dr. Kyohei Yamane, his daughter Emiko, her lover Ogata, and her fiancé Dr. Sarazawa must balance their own personal and professional issues against their struggle to cope with the Leviathan, whose destructive rampage seems unstoppable against the powerful might of the Japanese military forces. Now, I realize that most people are more familiar with the long run of sequels to this film, spanning from 1955's Godzilla Raids Again all the way up to the final Toho entry to the series, Godzilla Final Wars. But what irks me most is when supposed kaiju fans say how much they love this film, then get all apologetic about the effects and the film quality, and they patronize the filmmakers, saying it was pretty good for its time considering what they had to work with. Fuck you, people. This is an awesome, haunting, heart-wrenching film, in part because of the look of the film. It has this eerie documentary feel that lends itself far more credibility than a bunch of pristine, crystal-clear CGI graphics. Part of the reason this movie works so well is the almost voyeuristic feeling that we are literally watching a real terror unfold before our protagonist's eyes. Akira Takarada, Momoko Kochi, and Akihiko Hirata were all relatively inexperienced actors, and yet they were able to bring a truly real and visceral emotionality to their characters. The remaining lead, Takahashi Shimura, as Dr. Yamane, had a considerably greater acting experience. He had been an actor from far longer, and knew enough to underplay his role so as not to outshine his co-stars. The special effects by Eiji Tsuburaya were absolutely amazing, not just for their time, but for any time. Were a couple of wires visible here and there? Well, unfortunately, yes. But the visual triumphs in this film far outweigh its weaknesses. And for those of you who think they wussed out by using a man in a large dinosaur suit, consider this. The suit weighed almost 200 pounds, was almost impossible to see out of, and the stunt actor inside, Haru Nakajima, he could barely even breathe under the studio lights that would make the set blaze at nearly 110 degrees. These people put in thousands of man-hours meticulously detailing every facet of the miniature sets. And like King Kong, they used complex, multi-layered matte effects to bring all of the various visual elements together nearly seamlessly. Add to that the positively haunting score by Akira Ifukube, and you have a phenomenal film experience. Consider also the fact that this film was made a mere 9 years after the end of World War II. Not only was the Japanese economy still in a shambles at this point in time, but this film, which deals with a giant creature mutated by nuclear energy from H-bomb testing, had to have been a hard sell so soon after the obliteration of Hiroshima and Nagasaki by atomic bombs. Some of the imagery in this film accurately calls to mind images of those destroyed cities, and the toll it took on the morale of the Japanese people. Now, this film has been derided by some reviewers as a ripoff of The Beast of 20,000 Fathoms. Producer Tomiyuki Tanaka has admitted that Gojira was in part inspired by both Beast and King Kong. But this film is so much more on so many levels. It's more like a loving tribute to those other previous films. To those who say otherwise, I say, get the fuck over yourselves, you pretentious dickweeds. I've seen The Beast. It ain't all that. It's got some great effects by Ray Harryhausen, but when the monster isn't on screen, it's a dreary yawn fest. I'd rather watch my fish fuck. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rantometer, shall we? Artistic, a solid 5. Cool factor, 4.5. Weirdness, yes, a 4.5. And suck factor, I'm giving it a 0. This is honestly one of my favorite films of all time, regardless of genre. It's a full bag of film, with drama, suspense, cool effects, a haunting subtext of nuclear anxiety that is a bold stance to have taken so early in the Cold War era, and as far as I'm concerned, this film gets a solid 14. So, next time, on part 3 of my Kaiju tribute, we look at the unusually interesting 2008 film by J.J. Abrams, Cloverfield. Now, if you'll all excuse me, I gotta hit the shelters. Oyasumi to arigato. Oyasumi to arigato. I need to listen to more Sticks. Good night, everybody.